Hey, what's up? My name is Jonathan Fink, and this is my audiobook series, live and free on YouTube. Up next, The Pokemon Gods Are Real, Chapter 22, The Hymns. Every religion has its hymns, the sounds that carry belief beyond language, the melodies that awaken memory, the music that binds generations into a shared emotional experience. Long after doctrines fade and rituals evolve, hymns endure. In Pokemon, the hymns are woven into the very fabric of the faith. They echo from televisions, handheld consoles, movie theaters, live streams, and crowded arenas. To hear them is not merely to remember Pokemon, but to feel it. The first hymn remains immortal. I want to be the very best. For an entire generation, those words arrived not as lyrics, but as invocation. They rang out across living rooms and playgrounds with the force of a communal prayer. Children sang them without hesitation, absorbing their message as instinctively as any sacred chant. The song did more than introduce a television show. It articulated the central themes of the Pokemon universe: striving, growth, friendship, and destiny. It was not background music. It was a creed set to melody. The video games carried their own sacred music. The early 8-bit compositions of Red and Blue possessed a strange and lasting power. Their technical simplicity concealed an emotional depth that players felt immediately, even if they could not explain why. The gentle theme of Palatown sounded like innocence itself, the beginning of a pilgrimage. Route themes evoked motion and possibility. Battle music pulsed with urgency, like ritual drums signaling conflict. Victory jingles burst forth like miniature hallelujahs, rewarding perseverance with sonic affirmation. These melodies etched themselves into memory with unusual permanence. Decades later, a handful of notes can collapse time entirely. Adults, long removed from childhood, find themselves instantly transported back to dimly lit bedrooms, to the glow of a Game Boy screen, to the feeling that adventure awaited just behind the next encounter. Few cultural artifacts possess such neurological durability. The hymns of Pokemon did not merely accompany experience, they became inseparable from it. The films elevated the music into full liturgy. When orchestral scores swelled during moments of sacrifice, loss, or triumph, they amplified emotion into something approaching the sacred. Ash's sacrifice in Pokemon the first movie, and Lugia's haunting call in Pokemon 2000, these dramatic crescendos were not passive soundtracks, but emotional conductors, guiding audiences through collective awe. In darkened theaters, surrounded by strangers, viewers experienced something rare: synchronized feeling. A congregation bound not by creed, but by melody. Over time, the community itself became a composer. Remixes, covers, orchestral performances, lo-fi reinterpretations. Each generation reshaped the hymns without diminishing their power. Like traditional religious music passed through centuries, Pokemon's melodies proved infinitely adaptable. They survived technological shifts, stylistic changes, even parody. Their resilience revealed an essential truth: hymns derive strength not from rigid preservation, but from continual reanimation by believers. Even humor became part of the choir. Funny songs, memes, playful adaptations, these did not profane the hymns, but extended their life. A living faith permits reinterpretation, and therefore, the Pokemon soundscape continues to expand. Yet, the most powerful hymns are often the unscripted ones. They emerge spontaneously, unrecorded, and unplanned. The eruption of a crowd when a decisive play lands, the collective gasp during a dramatic pull on stream, the laughter circulating a trade table. These sounds lack formal composition, yet they carry unmistakable spiritual energy. They are the living music of the faith, expressions of shared emotion that no official soundtrack could ever fully replicate. Hymns matter because faith is not solely visual, it is auditory, vibrational, deeply tied to memory and feeling. A melody can bypass intellect entirely, awakening recognition before thought. To hear a Pokemon hymn is to feel connected not only to the franchise, but to one's own history within it. This is why the music of Pokemon endures with such remarkable persistence. Not because it is technically complex, not because it is culturally dominant, but because it is shared. Because millions have internalized it. Because its melodies have accompanied moments of joy, frustration, hope, and discovery. Every voice that sings along, every mind that recalls a theme, every pulse that quickens a familiar tune, together they form the Pokemon Choir. End of chapter 22. Up next, chapter 23, the language. If you enjoyed this chapter, please leave a like. If you really enjoyed it, please subscribe. Thank you so much. God bless.